Welcome to the next episode of my no teleport playthrough of Motortown. If you think the last episode ended a bit abruptly, I gotta agree and I'm sorry for it. I just needed to step away. I had a bit of a stomach ache. So yeah, I think this end for the episode was preferable instead of me trying to still do the upgrades. We are just going to do that today, otherwise it might have been a completely different kind of video in the end, and we don't want that. Okay, let's see. We have two in the front. We still need two more, but I think I'll save on the dampers for now and just get the trailer hitch. I think we might want to go with riser. I don't know if it would be sensible to also have one which is more neutral, but I mean the difference between the two isn't really all that big anyway, so yeah, I guess the two options are pretty good. Should be enough. We could also theoretically add like a front spoiler and that kind of thing. That might look nice, maybe not this one here, due to how the paint job works out. But that's definitely something for later. Right now the trailer hitch is what we really need here. So let's take a look at further things that we can go buy now. I don't think we can actually buy anything more with the money that we have. But let's check out the dealership anyways. They switched a few things around, so I'm curious to see if all that I want here is actually available, and that seems to be the case. Because right now I have three different things on mind, potentially. We definitely need this trailer, and we are going to need this pretty soon. Because that's going to be necessary for a lot of purchases here in order to get everything delivered. I mean, with this place here, it's not quite as bad. I can just park my car at the house and walk over here. It's not that far away. I can also always, of course, use hitchhiking, so just jumping into a vehicle and being taken along until they go a direction which I don't need to go into, or go towards, whatever. But yeah, I can just jump into any NPC vehicle as a passenger and just go see where they are going. But yeah, for the most part, I would like to have this trailer. I would also like to have this one. Not necessarily even for this car, but the one thing I really want for different jobs here is the bongo. First up, if I ever take this into Gwangjin, there's going to be a lot of money for the bus shop. But this thing can also be used as a taxi, as a transporter with a roof rack and trailer hitch. Once again, the trailer over here. And yeah, just a jack of all trades, and I think for starting out this is definitely a very good secondary vehicle to have. But we gotta get to that point first, so yeah, let's do something else. Let's see what else is available over here. When it comes to jobs right now, I mean, I could do more transportation. I mean, cargo stuff. I could also go and do more taxi driving. I don't want to get into a bus until I have my own bus lines available. And I'll just go to my main character and copy stuff over from there so that I have my bus routes again. If I didn't mention that beforehand. I think I talked about it in the first episode, but not quite so sure. Oh, we can actually use the Kira now, so let's maybe do that. After all, we've done a bit of leveling here, so we might as well use it right now. We are actually level 10, so theoretically we could spawn an SRT and already do semi-trucking. I was considering to maybe make a suggestion about splitting off semi-trucking into its own thing. I think overall the cargo transportation stuff is a bit loaded right now. And maybe there should only be like 1 or 2 options to get into semi-trucking and go from there. Also, this camera perspective is not really helpful. Okay, that's a really valuable crate of carrots. How could I say no to that? A few more things go in the same direction. This one not so much. Ah, there's also some pellets in here. And I may actually need to... Let's do a little trick here. Unload the carrots for a moment. Just so that we have space for 2 pellets in here. Just like that, and I guess at this point I might as well take those things along for the ride with me, since we're already going in that direction. So let's strap this all down. And then throw the carrots back on top. I'm glad that these things cannot tip over and just spill all their contents. That would be annoying. Okay, I just phased through the vehicle. I don't think that's supposed to happen. And the other one on top here as well, just to give it a bit more fresh air. And let's go. I might actually also do a little stop over here at the nearby farm. Just to check out if they have any inventory going the same direction. Although with how we are loaded right now, I don't know if it's going to be too great adding any more to this. But let's see. So some of it is for Jiju, some of it for Pyo-san. Where the hell is this one going? The resident? Okay, that's up there. I mean, I can take it. It's definitely going to be worth much less in the moment. Okay, less than 1k, you know what? Maybe later. And I should actually go in here and unload like this. Come on. The menus are always a bit too fiddly, so let's just do this with a mouse and be done with that. So let's do the rest of the deliveries as they are right now, and then once we have a bit more space we can pick up more stuff. But I don't just want to plan ahead for the next 3 or 4 destinations and then we all of a sudden only get stuff that goes the other direction. And yeah, the Kira flatbed is something that I got on my last playthrough, mainly for a photo op. I basically tried to make a little scenery for a potential new Steam banner. Or just to give the devs a bit more of an idea on what they could maybe be doing. Because quite sadly the whole Steam page is very much outdated. And I think they are only using like asset pack vehicles for everything, and I tried avoiding that. Okay, it has the Fortem in there because I didn't know that was not in-house model at that time that I made the whole thing, but hey, what can you do? Sometimes you mess up a little, but I don't think it would be that noticeable. Speaking of the Fortem, there was a particular thread that actually even got me to the realization that the Fortem is not an in-house model, and that was about a possible replacement using similar Porsches, but not the exact one. The Fortem is based on what seems to be a 1980s, somewhere in the 1980s, 930 Porsche 911. So that's the whole in-house thing. It's a 911 Turbo with wide arch fenders and also the dovetail thing in the back. Okay, let's see. Wrong direction, right direction, also right direction. Nice. Also like how some of the palettes just have a different shape. Would be nice if we could maybe even stack these up. But yeah, 1980s Porsche 911 Turbo. Really nice car, white fenders and all of that, and I think that's one of like modified Porsche looks from what I know. If I think of Porsche, that's definitely one of those that comes to mind. But yeah, it's a very similar vehicle to one that the other person was talking about as a replacement, which is the 911 Carrera 3.2 from, I think, 1986. Basically an almost identical model, but without the white fenders, so no white body kit. And as long as they would add the white body as an option, and once again the whole dovetail thing as an option, then I would be absolutely fine with that. So that would basically give you two vehicles for the price of one, because you can have a more sleeper looking Porsche, if there's anything like that, something that doesn't really look like it's all that powerful. And then if you really want the white body look with everything that entails, you can also go for that. So that's kind of what I hope they would be doing. I don't know if they would go for that, but yeah, I would absolutely love it. The one thing that I would not like is if we got the Carrera version, so the not so white one, and then no additional a white body kit or something like that. Because at the very least, if it's not the exact same model from the get-go, we should at least be getting the parts to make it look like what we have right now. Okay, that was really only one package going here. Not all that effective, but hey, we're not too far away from the highway, so let's go over there and over to the other town. Also, gotta say, at this point there might be some delays in the videos again. I'm really liking this new playthrough, I'm really having fun with it, but as I've mentioned in almost every episode, it's bloody hot recently, and I can barely keep my cool, so to speak, and I'm trying to keep my train of thought going. I try to be engaging in all of that, but it's tough, and I might just need to take a break if things are too hot. I could also try recording in the evening, but after the apartment has been heated up for the entire day, it's not going to be too much of a difference, I'm afraid. And keeping my fan on doing recording is definitely not an option. That would be something that you would definitely notice. So yeah, if I take another break, if things come out at a more irregular pace, then that's definitely gonna be down to that. But yeah, I don't want to die of heat stroke here, that would be a bit unfortunate. By the way, I absolutely love the Kira variants. Such a cool addition. They are pretty neat, they are really cute and also so useful. Especially the van, but the flatbed also nothing to skip out on, at least not if you have some other options as well. I mean, usually I just go directly for semi-trucking, but with this playthrough, hey, it's nice to do things a bit differently. I also get that the game is just being very generous with most things that it unlocks, so the levels are not too high. But on some hand, to some degree, I would really kind of like to see things being spaced out a bit more. I mean, I've done some deliveries in the first episode, and at this point I could already use the semi-truck instead of this one. It's a bit quick. And what I talked about earlier, I don't know. For some people, they just want the ultimate sandbox and having things available very quickly, almost immediately. But I think maybe a more gradual approach to trucks unlocking would be nice. I mean, with buses, it sometimes can feel like it takes ages to get to the later, higher level ones. But for trucking, here you deliver 5 packages and you're almost there. So maybe having a separate semi-level that you need to take some tasks to start out with and level up those in order to get the rest unlocked. I think that could be cool. It would also very much screw up things how they are now, and I don't know how it would actually work for people who already have a high trucking level. So if it was just split between regular trucks like this one and semi-trucking. Maybe for introducing that with older accounts, you could just copy the truck level. So the regular truck level to... oh, we're stopping at a bus stop here. Interesting. Just copy the levels over from regular trucking to semi-trucking so that people can still use their stuff. But yeah, I think that would be giving those things a nice little distinction. Especially with both of them being very in-depth and having a lot of options. So yeah, you can kind of go for either. I didn't really even need to turn off here. I'm just blindly following the yellow line on the map right now. I might need to make this a short episode again. I'm so tempted to just turn on the fan right now. It's really quite the heat level here. I hope it cools down sooner than later. Oh, also, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last episode, but I definitely was meaning to talk about it. We have finally announced the next racing event. I mean, Chess has. It's not gonna be my event, not, I mean, kinda yes and no. The thing that Chess has done is take my idea with rallycross and the whole car setup for that. So the same cars that I use and wanted to use for the next event again, but with different tracks. And that's something that I've been kinda suggesting that we should maybe wait with my event idea until we get the new checkpoint system and all of that, because those are lengthy routes and setting those up with cones and everything likely going to be quite a pain, and they would need adjustments between the stages because they are kinda overlapping in some places. So having that with checkpoints instead would be so much more convenient. For a moment I thought I needed to deliver this to the vehicle spawner here, but no, we need to go a few meters further. And yeah, this truck, by the way, if I was to buy it again, this one can also have a trailer hitch. So very useful. Let's see, where do the next ones go? Just one town over. We might actually just continue down the west end if we get something. I'm not going to Anson today, no thank you. Also not to Gap, huh? That one, however, yeah, that's a winner. I mean, there are a few more warehouses on the way. So that should all be alright. But yeah, usually if it was up to me, I would have likely just continued the recording session after the first episode and gotten a few more recorded and just likely be good for a few weeks there. I don't know with how I'm uploading this stuff right now. But it's too warm. I can barely focus for an entire episode, so just keeping going is not a great idea. And here we have the ramp over there. I saw it again. I mean, I've done basically a dedicated episode to that ramp, but I was still happy with that whole thing. Would be nice if we got a few more immersive loading and unloading things in the future. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be the focus, but for just dumping cargo and that kind of thing, I think they need something like those ramps. I wouldn't mind seeing something like in Railroads Online with cranes and all of that, although with how it works that's also not quite that realistic. But yeah, I feel like in the end there's a lot of cool things with the jobs that are a bit more in depth with the mechanics, like tow trucking and also the Kira rollback truck, that you actually need to lower the bed and have the cargo on there and all of that, and there's not just like go next to it, press a button and it's magically loaded. And if they could be doing something similar for the cargo stuff, I think that would also be nice. I think somebody also mentioned in the past that maybe these residential deliveries could actually go to the doorstep. I think that would be a good point for immersiveness. Also would be a very good reason to use a smaller truck instead of the large ones. Just so that you can even find your item that you need to deliver. But yeah, at that point, how would you even do that? Because if you have like, let's say you have 10 or 20 things loaded, how do you, if you get out of a vehicle and enter the cargo hold, how do you identify which item goes where? How do you find that again? Or would that just be the case that you go to the back and you just get the item for the next thing if you are close by? Not sure. I think there's potential, but it also might come with a few obstacles. But yeah, at the end of the day, right now, my focus is definitely on getting the the whole checkpoint system. I had a play around with it while the testing version was leaked, and damn, I wish I could go back to it. It was so much fun already. Not perfect, and I mean, it's early testing. What do you expect? Of course, it's going to be one of the worst versions of the system, and only see improvements afterwards. But it was already so good. But yeah, we're almost at the last delivery point. I could have maybe checked for more cargo there in the last one, but completely forgot. Again, don't expect too much from me. Especially not these days. Maybe in October when it gets cooler again. I don't expect September to be to have much mercy on me. But yeah, back to the fish market. Yeah, this is now really kind of a bummer that I didn't pick up anything from the last warehouse, because now I'm going to be running the truck empty, and that's something that you don't really want to do. I mean, I don't need to pay for my fuel, because this is not my truck, but really you want to make profit along the way as much as you can, and I kind of failed on optimizing on that end. So if I'm not able to still afford those shiny new dampers in a few episodes, this is why. This is where it all went wrong. Is there anything else nearby? I could go to the water factory and I think I might just do that. Just getting the live fish and putting it into the cargo bed. That's fine. They might be fried once they arrive at where they need to go. Fried fish. And yeah, my favorite off-road path right here. You know what's funny? People have talked about on the Discord about the mud road having a very inconsistent and clashing look compared to the rest of the map. But if you look at it, that cobble path there, potentially the same, definitely much more detailed than any of the road and grass textures around me. I mean, apart from the actual grass and all of that, but for some reason, that one still feels fine, but the mud road, yeah, that looked out of place in my opinion as well. I don't know. Opinions aren't always consistent, I guess. Alright, let's see. I hope something to Gangyang. Yep. I mean, that's better than nothing. Yeah, I'm not going to take the palace to Seon-sang, not this episode. I'm kinda working on the wrap up over here. I don't think I'll be able to take anything from the plastics factory. That one needs oil from the refinery, and honestly, from the last testing I've done, this job it just isn't worth it. I think it needs either pallets or containers in addition to the oil in order to produce anything, and that goes to the toy factory. And neither the items that are output from over here nor the toy pallets are really worth it. So yeah, not really all that great. The best part of payment is really the oil here, so that's a bit of that's kind of a letdown. But hey, I've seen them having the point of doing a payment rebalancing, so that might hopefully get addressed at some point. Who knows? It's been there for a while. And I think I already mentioned that, from my perspective, likely not the easiest job to do. But definitely it's something that needs to be done overall, at least at some point. I can't help myself, this thing is cute. And yeah, usually, as I said, I wouldn't even be using this one. I would likely just go from a really small vehicle, which would give me much more money for these four boxes right there. Just straight up to a large one that can do all the pellets and whatever is needed. But in this one, I'm happy just doing things a bit more slowly. I'm not really racing to get anywhere. I got my other account. Anything that I ever want to do is in reach on that one. So this one can be a bit more laid back. But yeah, we are slowly making our way back to Gangyang once again, and I think it's going to be the base of operations for the foreseeable future. I could theoretically take my car over to the other town and maybe do some military quails in a few episodes. That would be a big shot in the arm for anything that I need to pay for. But right now I think I don't really need that. Might do so later down the line. And yeah, there's my car again. I apparently left the lights on. Thankfully this game doesn't have any batteries to drain unless we are driving an EV. And yeah, that's something that I noticed that I should have maybe also done on my other playthrough, just getting a Zydo. One of the most expensive vehicles in this game besides the Lambo. But likely the most expensive in-house made sports car model. Which is based on a Hyundai Vision something, I don't know. There's a real prototype car that apparently is also now going into production. So if you are thinking, or if you are seeing the announcement and thinking, oh, they are producing the Motortown car, yeah, it didn't originate here. But it's basically the place where I first saw it and heard of it. I think they also now have it in Grand Theft Auto. I haven't played it for a while. But yeah, we are making our way back to the warehouse once again. And then we're gonna have to see what we'll do next time. I don't want this to be just the cargo transport playthrough. But starting out there are not that many options and I'll have to see what we can do next time. Maybe we just go over to do some tow trucking or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, what am I even doing at the cargo pickup? We need to get rid of the truck here because the episode is about to be over. And that's this one dealt with. Let's go back to our home and that's gonna be it for this episode. You know what? I have an idea. We have 300% dampers on the front. Maybe I'll just go for 200% in the back, which means I can actually afford them in the trailer. It's a surprise tool that's going to be useful later. I'm just going through here. I kinda wish we had a more like clear entranceway. I think we should be actually going through here. That's my best guess, but who really knows? So we are going to take this one with us and it's going to be useful quite often. I even used it on my other playthrough where I could have just teleported around. But this thing is just fun. Also, I can't really fit between her without jumping. Okay, toggle the landing gear. And let's take this home. I didn't expect it to make the corner, but apparently the turning radius is pretty good here. And yeah, this one might also need a bit of a suspension setup. It's kind of high compared to my car. Okay, let's see. How do we want to do this? I'm just gonna park it on my lawn there. And yeah, I think in the foreseeable future I might just need to grab myself a few parking lots in order to be able to store things away over here. But yeah, for now we are done here, so yep, that's gonna be it. Let's see what we do next time, but with my money I guess it's just gonna be making more money because, well, otherwise we are pretty limited on options. But that's gonna do it for today. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, have a good one. Till next time, take care and bye bye.